everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Drag Divas and Dolls. We had a lineup change last episode, but we are back to our regularly scheduled programming. Say hello, everyone.
Hi, Divas.
Hi, dolls. Hey, little
There we go.
Dolls deserve to be burned. I'm sorry.
Girl, I'm right here.
Girl, not after they saying protect the dolls, and here you are.
She said burn them. She didn't sing
She
it.
said burn the dolls.
She
That's
threw the
crazy.
first brick at Toys R Us.
After last episode, we had once again Bosco and Irene in the lead because they won an improv challenge. And this time they had a makeover challenge. At the start of the episode, they had to give each other points like they did last time. They chose to be more messy than before. So what did you guys think of their point giving?
I wasn't expecting Olivia to do that, but honestly, saying that now and seeing how she acted last episode, I'm actually not surprised she picked Deja. Both Deja and Olivia realized Aja was still in third place by this point. So if she gave her point to Aja, she would have solidified or made it harder for her to then overtake her. But I felt so bad for Aja because that girl was so naive with the alliance system.
And I also think this whole alliance thing was never going to work out anyways. I feel like they just pick and choose whenever they want what works for them, and it's never about like, oh, we're actually going to be loyal. It's like, okay, we'll make this pact now and then we'll see, when the time comes, if we'll actually stick to it. So I thought that was crazy that Miss Olivia, who said I'm the nice girl and I'm not going to be the nice girl anymore, she's literally backstabbing her Minu whatever sister, and she's out here giving the points in this Deja. And I was like, that was a real gag, honestly. And I just say I'm so happy Phoenix got 0 points. I hate Phoenix the most. I'm sorry. That grandpa should have not even been in the competition, but whatever.
But she's not going to be alive for long, so they had to get her now.
That's crazy.
I actually thought it was so scummy of them to make Aja give her point first because she had such big leverage, because then she could have strategized what she was going to do if she knew what the girls were going to do. She probably would have given it to Phoenix. But my point is that she could have been more strategic and she wouldn't have... So the tie that happened with like her and Olivia wouldn't have happened because she wouldn't have given it to Olivia. They knew they were not going to be loyal to her in the alliance. They were just... It was a two-person alliance and they faked it to make you think that, oh, Aja's in it too. But in reality, it was always just both of them. Felt very genuine when like Aja was giving Olivia advice. She was even in her corner when Bosco and Olivia had that whole drama. So she was trying to get her together and blah, blah, blah. And the fact that they have a relationship like outside of this and she did this is like horrible. Like if one of you did that to me, you'd be dead to me on the spot.
I feel like these people have a better relationship off screen. So then on screen, when they pull shit like this, it makes you question, like, even though it's just a competition or it's just a show, whatever, it makes you question, like, their loyalties IRL. And I wouldn't want to be in that situation because I think Aja has a pure heart. But Olivia, I don't know her season, but it feels like she was a goody two shoes then, but now she's showing her true colors and I'm not liking it.
I feel like Olivia is one of those girls that like, like you perceive as nice or they like come across as nice, but like internally they are very twisted with how they think. And that's exactly what she did. Olivia is an absolute strategic snake. Also, Aja was so nice because she heard her out. Dude, like she let her explain herself. I would not have, because that explanation was absolutely bullshit. I don't know if you guys remember her explanation, but the explanation she gave was that I couldn't give Deja none.
Yeah.
But you gave Aja none. So what's the point?
Because it generally looked like Aja was down that whole episode.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to Miss Aja.
Phoenix looks like a booger, but Olivia behaves like a booger.
I wrote Aja, send them packing, I beg. And that's verbatim what's on my notes. I was like, please send those girls home because you do not deserve to be treated like that.
Then I think all of them entered the workroom. That's when that whole somewhat of a blow up between Aja and Olivia happened. But before that, we're all just making a note of how Puss Bosco looked once again in her little tied top with jeans. What happened was they come back into the workroom, then they sit down on the table, and Aja right off the bat it like exposes that they had an alliance. So you, me, and Deja were in an alliance. So why did you not pick me? Like, why did you not give me a point?
So the only note I have on this is there's a screen cap of Bosco serving face. And I think that's
Yeah.
the only
That's
the only
crazy.
thing I wrote. She just had that fresh, natural man beat down as I just calling for Olivia, and that was my whole takeaway from that. I will say, I think from a character development perspective, mind you, for reference, I did watch Aj on AS3. So seeing her handle this conflict so maturely, I think it's just a great testament to her growth. And I'm really happy that, she addressed the problem in a very like calm but assertive manner, and like she really said what she needed to in a very like mature way. That's the best way I can put it.
Mm.
What I
Yeah.
did find a bit weird was Phoenix self-inserting herself and be like, I only have 1 point, you guys. And it was like,
Yeah.
yes, but that's based off merit. Like, you haven't performed as well as the other girls. I think Phoenix mentioned she didn't know about the alliance. It's like, girl, how could you not? Like, I think they discussed it every day in the workroom.
I do agree with you. I think she handled it quite maturely. I think that could have gone like if she wanted to tear her a new one, she could have, and she would have had like the absolute like perfect reason to. Like no one would have like batted an eye. But she handled it quite fairly while still letting everyone know that hey, look, these two are in an alliance. I was with them, but obviously they're not like, like it's not pulling through for me. So just so you guys are aware. Don't want to admit this, but I did agree with Phoenix actually. I think that it was a bit awkward because Olivia quite clearly was like, oh, we had a melanin girl alliance and we wanted to make sure that those girls. I think that can come across very weird because of the way that she worded it, simply because Irene Bosco already, like they're doing perfect, blah, 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 blah. They don't need an alliance, right? They already had, almost 4 points up to this point. So the only really the person that you're targeting that statement at is Phoenix. And if
Yeah.
the shoe was on the other foot and she said the same, I don't think that would have been received well at all. And also because if you're saying that, you just backstabbed your melanin sister in the back. So like if you're saying, oh, you want the melanin girls in the top, girl, you just backstabbed her. Yeah, but in the same breath, I'm like, Phoenix girl, who would want to group up with you like realistically, who wants to make an alliance with
No,
you?
like I agree with what you're saying. I think it was more the timing of Phoenix bringing it up because it wasn't about the alliance. It was more about, I mean, it was not the alliance, but it was more about just the voting between the two girls.
I don't even think the performance mattered. Just looking at Phoenix, I would not give alliance to her.
I did like how Phoenix did clock them at the end though, because she was like, you guys are all forgetting that I still have a point to give. So if you guys are quite blatantly like telling me you don't give a fuck, I still have a point to give. And spoiler alert, she did get to decide. So they did count her out completely when they didn't think about the fact that everyone still gets a point. So you do even you could think she's booger, but she has a point to give. Then they get introduced to their makeover contestants, which of course you would say that. These basketball girls.
Can I just say all those girls were stunning? I was like, you don't even need to be in drag, girl. Like,
and a lot of them were done dirty when they were put in drag.
yes, some of those girls were set up.
Lauren, we had Abby, we had Maya, we had Hunter, Nevaeh, and we had Talia.
Can I just say something before we get into their makeover?
You want to finger bang them?
Oh,
No, but what I was gonna say is because I don't know if we're gonna mention this, but I love how Abby was so committed to, giving the best to Deja. And made sure like her eyebrows were shaved off if that's what the diva needed. But I also think it's so crazy that Deja does not know how to like block out the brow. I'm like, bro, you've been in drag for how many years now? Like you should know this.
Deja prides herself on being a makeup girl, like the mug girl of her season. How are you a mug girl and you don't even know how to block out a brow?
she's a mug like in the furniture way.
A broken one, maybe.
A cracked one, yes, but
So, which one of these girls do you think you would have wanted?
Lauren.
We're asking for different reasons, by the way. This is not like personal want. This is like if you had to do it.
You were at the ready. She was waiting.
Literally, she was like, Lauren. No, but I meant like to do the makeover. Like, whose facial structure do you think either is like somewhat similar to yours? Do you think would like take the makeup on like really well?
For me, it was Lauren and Hunter. Lauren, I mean, she's the tallest, so I feel very related to that. She's also the skinniest out of the lineup. And I'm also quite slender in build, so I feel like that would have already complemented us quite well. But I do love Hunter's bone structure. I think she's just naturally very snatched. Those are the two girls I was like, I would love to work with those two the most.
I just would love to be with Lauren, be Lauren, all of the above. Like, I'm sorry, this diva, and she also has such a deep, like, husky voice, and I love that shit.
Yeah.
And I love how she's so confident, and just, I think her personality is a slay. You don't even have to do anything. Like, just show her face, and she ate. She ate. This pussy also, but she ate.
Oh, put that in the podcast for June for the Pride Month special.
I'm going in terms of like what I can be more creative with. I think I would have picked Talia because you could really transform that face into whatever you want. By the way, Irene won the challenge once again. Queen of challenges. She won the mini too.
Can I just say that Phoenix's girl deserved better? And it is just so crazy that this girl was so fine on her own, and then she met Phoenix, and Phoenix just pulled her down to the ground, to the grave that Phoenix belongs in anyways.
Some of her performances physically are just because she's old. Like, she doesn't have the
Okay,
energy
she's
of the
not
other
that
queens.
old. I know
Girl.
you keep saying that every episode like it's an excuse. I
She
promise
looks
you,
that old.
she's not
Let's
that
start
old.
there.
Then retire. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm saying if you are that old, you're that tired, and don't come on the show is what I'm trying to say.
And why do you get fillers? I'm sorry, they're not working.
Girl, RuPaul is like fucking 80. She gets coffee enemas. She could get one too.
I would love to see Mama RuPaul do a lip sync today. Full glam at her age.
Oh, she does?
I want to see it. I actually want to see.
She does one every regular season, like before the finale, she'll do a little dance. Yeah. So after this, after they all got assigned, they obviously went into the workroom and then they were writing their lyrics together, blah, 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 blah. And all I could think of was how sorry I felt for Phoenix's girl because that bitch looked at her and said, I'm gonna make you look like me. Imagine if someone who looked like fucking Freddy Krueger just looked you straight in the face as you were stunning and said, I'm gonna make you look like me.
You know, I just hate Phoenix, so nothing. I can't ever be kind.
Irene's partner's face when she was explaining the concept of like how they're gonna be like alien clowns, she was like so distraught. She thought she was gonna come here and be a gorge womana. She was like, so you're gonna look like a clown.
This whole challenge is giving the scene and the Bratz live action where Yasmin makes a football team wear heels. There were so many points in the episode, which I'll get to later, that reminded me of the Bratz live action, and I was like, girl, no wonder this feels familiar.
I just think Olivia had a good camaraderie with her girlie, and I think that really showed at the end as well. So I think they really hit it off, and I think that's also important because the whole theme is like family resemblance. I think it's so important that you also show that you guys like can get along.
They then went into their rehearsals. Is Phoenix's girl thing? My hips lie all the time.
She's so real for that.
This bitch, remember when she had her choreo? She was just crawling on the floor. And the one time she had to give choreo, she was making this bitch do the squats and this and that. I was like, where was this when it was your choreo the first time?
Why were they all squatting during practice? All the girls were dropping it low like it's a Friday night. I was like, what's going on?
And then another thing that I wrote down was like, Bosco just describing every single thing as pussy. Everything was just pussy. She's like, do this pussy and then walk this pussy and then look at this pussy and then serve this pussy. And then after you get to the end of this pussy, then you lay out your pussy and then you walk over the pussy and then you wave your pussy at the judges and then you go back and then you wash your pussy.
Lauren is like, when it comes to Bosco, I've learned that you don't take what she says at face value.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, girl.
Bosco's mind when she was explaining it to make perfect sense. Like in her mind, she was like laying it all out.
Yeah.
Literally, what they showed us was her just going, this is pussy, and then that is pussy. And then you walk this pussy, and then you walk back. Then the girls come back into the workroom for the next day, and that is when Deja Sky looks like wrapping paper, and Aja looks like fucking Moana, talking about how feminine she is. That was so funny, girl. That was so funny to me.
I think I blacked out that pink sparkly Barbie and Ken getup because I was so visually assaulted. That's going on my visually assaulted count for this season. It's like number 4. Whenever I see her, I need a TW because I need to like mentally prepare that my eyes have to reflect the light that features her in my presence.
Like after they got back, then they all started doing each other's mug, and like Phoenix's girl looked fucking miserable. She sat in that chair looking like. And also, she was the one who had her sister go to like one of the pretty girls. Remember? So imagine, I'd be so mad if my sibling got like gorgeous makeup and I got this.
I literally wrote Mug Tina Irene. I think I loved seeing that screen cap because I think I gasped. Miss Hunter, you don't have to worry about looking like a clown because you did not. Well, you did, but not the way you thought.
I think over the season, I've realized how versatile Irene is as a makeup artist. She is the makeup artist Deja claims to be because this bitch paints every time it's a different mug, but like there's such a specific like concept. I think Irene's a very, very, very underrated makeup artist.
I'm glad she's getting her flowers this season.
Mm-hmm.
She really deserved.
Them talking about sexism in basketball while looking like freaks because half of their makeup was on and half of it wasn't. So there's this girl being like, we just want to be girls, and she has half a lash on and half a red lip. So first up we have Miss Rupanjali herself, of course. Today she's not giving Rupanjali though. She looks more like it's very Latin dancer. I love this like little fascinator thing she has going on in her head. I think ginger is my favorite hair color on her. For whatever reason, it looks the most natural. This like ginger, but like almost borderline blondie ginger. Her slit is going above her puss today. She has a her thigh out for the lesbian. Earrings also match, so not a crisis like we had last time where the blues were different. This outfit's quite interesting actually. It looks like she like skinned a couple of kawas and then put them on the outfit, but overall, love.
One word, 5 syllables. Trigonometry, girl. Because all us were triangles, like on the runway. Just triangles.
Is that 5 syllables?
Yes, trigonometry. All I saw were triangles. It wasn't a bad thing. I just was like, it's a lot. Like, just giving Pythagoras theorem right here, girl. Sometimes your best hair color is a color that's close to your skin tone. So I think that is the perfect example. It just goes with her bronzer so well. The nude mesh is not matching her skin tone. That drives me crazy because if that matched, and I know she has the budget, girl, to get something that matches her nude like illusion, do it, because I don't like that it's a mismatched nude.
So they probably should have gone darker than like her actual skin tone to make it match better, because on the cameras it would have like matched perfectly. And because of like how like sparkly and everything else it is, I think it pulls your focus towards it as well, so you can really tell that it is quite different skin tones.
For the hair, I feel like this was the hair she wanted episode 1 with the skinned emu, if you remember. I said this looks a lot better. It looks like she tamed the emu a little bit, cooked her in some water, and then put it on her head.
But I did still enjoy the look. I don't think it's like the most stellar thing ever, but I think it is quite different for Ru. We're so like used to seeing her in like a very like specific like gown. I think this is quite fun, other than the nude illusion thing. But I think overall she's still going to be a mop from me.
A mop with a math textbook on the side, yes.
The M in the mop stands for map. That Madison Burley, the judge, her makeup was a slay. I love the purple.
I also liked Kate Beckinsale's, but she was giving Ariana in 2015, like with the big bow, the black sparkly things. I was like, where's your cat ears? Where's
because she took her man, now she wants to take her look.
Yes, but her makeup was cute, but it was just glowy makeup, which I like, so I'm always inclined to that. But yeah,
I do love when like the cis girls come correct. Like if they're going to a drag show, they like do it up, you know, like because obviously she's not wearing that hair in real life. You know what I mean? Like the enormous obnoxious bow, she's not gonna have that in real life. So yeah, I do like when they do try. First up, we have Deja Sky and her girly pop. Thoughts?
Can I just say, what is Deja wearing? What is Deja wearing? Like, which family is this? The family of nudity? Like, the family of incompleteness? Like, what is going on? Do you not get time, Diva? What is this? Nothing about it. I'm sorry. How is her baby drag, as they say, baby queen? How is she out mugging the queen of drag? I'm so sorry, but like, what is this? Okay, no, this is flop.
My first thought was family resemblance. Girl, they're estranged. It's giving Parent Trap if they never actually met each other, and they shouldn't have. Cause, like Miss Diva said, the daughter's out mugging. Like she's giving a brat Elvira. That's the only way I can describe it. Like Elvira hair, brat green. Deja looks like she bandaged her limb or her lipo with the little fabric wrap at the bottom. The new illusion just is giving nothing. It's giving you should have taken lipo again. The heart corset not sticking to anything makes no sense. Again, like what also offends me personally is pink and green are like my two favorite colors. And you did them so dirty. I want to revoke your rights. Her daughter's look is okay. I think at least fabric is in the right places. I don't like that the green shoes don't match the green tones in the other parts of the outfit. I feel like you already have two greens in the top part. Have that same green of the two in the shoes because it just looks disoriented. Like it looks like you didn't have any other green shoes to wear.
They both had their mouth open in the same way, but except for Deja, it did not look that bad. But for Sky, it looked like she was trying to suck something in the air, and I was like, girl, this is not good.
Yeah, suck up the talent in the room because they had none. Thought this was absolutely awful. This was horrible. Horrible boo boo garbage. Doo doo caca. This was bad. Absolutely horrible. And I don't even know what else to say because what do you mean? How do you go from last time where I was fucking defending her? And this is not a nude illusion. This is a nude delusion because it doesn't match. It's not the right color. And like the fucking like random pubes on her wrist, like what are they supposed to signify? What am I supposed to do with that?
Wait, that's where the hair from her coochie went because she had to wear a little bandage.
She had like her weird panty on, then her girl had like a napkin tablecloth on. Like, is the story that these two like aunties met at the bar and like robbed them of all their napkins and curtains and then just put them on and went out? Like, I don't know what story she was going for here. But yeah, this was absolute flop on the runway. And now let's get into her challenge because I have notes on that too. Girl, they looked a mess to me. I don't know what they found like delightful about that. They looked an absolute mess. I didn't like the choreo, and I'm gonna be extra harsh on her because Deja's in actual like career out of drag used to be that she was a cheerleading coach.
What?
So explain to me how you don't know how to do a routine. That's like crazy. Like, what were you doing to these poor little girls then? Making them go out looking like a hot mess?
But I will say, they had a wrap too, right?
Yeah, as in they wrap fabric around their body, yeah.
Yeah, I thought their wrap was really good. And I think that was the only thing that I could say that was good. But I saw that big drag queen, she did try her best for the lip sync. And I think for that, she gets an A star. But Deja, I'm sorry, nowhere.
No. In the challenge, again, a flop. Flop in the challenge, too.
Forgot it's a flop.
Next up, we have Irene.
I wrote in my notes, Irene, all caps, puss down, that high fashion mug is to die for. I love this. I have been so impressed with Irene's avant-garde looks. I don't think she labels herself as a fashion queen, but to me, she does give very editorial. I feel like Hunter, like by the end of this, really was like, I did get the best end of the deal out of all he could have worked with. They had the longest amount of time on the runway. Like there was so many clips of them because their chemistry was just so good and so fun. And again, I love when queens have that element on the runway. Last week it was Bosco with the Snatch Coffin and Rupanjali.
Yes.
This week it's the two of these girls just sort of having that chemistry. They look so good.
What I wrote down for Irene is that Irene's sickening. Love it, pussy 8. You know what I love about Irene is that her full name was Irene the Alien, and she truly, like, every single episode that I've seen so far, she sticks to that, but at the same time, it's nothing like, oh, like we've already seen this. I always feel like she brings in something new each time, and that shows how creative this diva is. And I can't believe in her season she got out after like the first episode, which I'm like thinking, like looking back at it now, I'm like, Diva, you should have won. Look, you can tell they're from the same family, but they're not the same. And I love that fact because it's like family doesn't mean that everyone should look the same. It's like you guys will look a little different, but you have something that are the same.
Families from the South can't say the same.
Like, I love their little entry too with the hands. I thought that little peek was giving very much like, hi divas, we're here, we're gonna eat, we're gonna slay. And I was like, you guys did exactly that. So 10 out of 10, this is a mop the floor down, literally the whole house, the building, the
Oh,
ground,
yes.
everything.
And this week, 2 intergalactic mops, one for each girl, because this was one of my favorites of the night. Probably one of my favorites, I will say, probably one of my favorites for this season. I'm going to stand by that. Like, this is stunning.
And what I noticed with a lot of the other girls were their girls got the scraps. Whoever did the makeover on got the scraps. Like they got the better look and then they gave her whatever else that they came up with. But this was like perfection because she both of them look the equal amount of polish. It's not like one's wearing like the uglier, like the less better outfit. Both of them are perfect. Like you said, they're so distinctly different, but still within the same family, which I love. Also love that she like bedazzled the fuck out of their antennas too. Like they're fucking sparkling, which like who's paying attention to the details? Like Irene. She's so committed to like proving herself that she has like excelled beyond anything. So I am just absolutely so excited to see what she has to bring going forward because if this is the level that we're getting, it truly seems like every single time she goes like she one ups herself every single time. So I don't know what to expect with Irene. Her aesthetic also is so like amazing that she's just made it like the alien so where you can take it to any place and like I would love to pick her mind on how she comes up with concepts because truly they are not of this world. Both of them were amazing. Their chemistry was so fun. They both genuinely felt like sisters up there on stage with how much fun they were having and how interactive they were. You could tell that like Estelle came into her own, even though she had like her reservations about like looking like a clown. But for whatever reason, Irene made her feel so comfortable and so beautiful that like you could tell in the performance. And I had the same note as like Kate when she said like she couldn't tell who was the queen and who was the babe. Like it was really that good. They had my favorite verse. So to me, they were just like tens across the board. Mops everywhere, girl. Start mopping at the top and at the bottom. Go back to the store, get more mops. Have a mop shortage.
Yeah, take Olivia's
Love.
wig, barrel some mops.
Oh, girl, those are sponges. But yes.
All right. Let's move on to Bosco and Goddess. You guys go first.
I just want to say, I think this reminded me of Mortal Kombat, and I think Bosco should like design something for them because this look is just, I would pick this diva to fight. Like, this is the diva I'm fighting with because I don't know what it is about this look. It's so like, it's giving like astrology, it's giving like goddess, it's giving spirituality. Like, I felt something deep inside, and I was like, Bosco, only you can make me feel that way. And her titties look so perfect. I'm sorry, but like, mommy, it is. Like, I cannot say anything more. And I just think I also love like the color combo of like the blue and the red. I think it's giving very like ethereal meets fire, and they have a little baby, and this is the family. And I think Lauren matched Bosco's energy very well. I think at first she was like, what does pussy and cunt mean? But then in the end, she was giving pussy and cunt. And I was like, she understood the assignment. Mom.
I loved these looks. It's so funny that you said Mortal Kombat because to me, Goddess's hair and makeup gave Bayonetta, and I was like, I love that for her. She's tall. She has like a similar hairstyle. Her face is snatched just like Bayonetta's. I love it. I also love the Galliano and Erte references. If Irene is like out of this world intergalactic, this is out of this world mystical. It's just really beautiful, and I think I like that you mentioned the blue and res contrast, but then it's also quite similar by theme, so there is that slight divergence, so it's not same to same. It's an Umbran witch mob. I love them.
I liked Bosco's. I think my standards for Bosco's have been too far exceeded, like raised so high up that maybe she can't even meet them now. I see Bosco as that burlesque girly. So when I saw her bring this out, I don't know if that necessarily gave me Bosco's aesthetic. She is high fashion, she is that girl, but she hasn't really served anything on the runway thus far that gives the same energy as this. I thought this was a little dated for her in terms of the reference pulling. I think she aged herself a little putting this on. I think it swallows up her silhouette. Her arms look very, very short, especially because her girl is so tall that like it because she made her girl's shoulders and arms completely exposed and kept hers hidden, it literally swallowed her up. I think maybe if the little like velvet thing on the bottom that she has, maybe if it was like shorter, or maybe if it was like you're saying, like the Mortal Kombat thing where it was like a little like flap thingy in the back and then like a train thingy in the back. I think that would have been maybe smarter. Because it does, like the entire season she's been about like, you know, this body that I've got now because I've transitioned. I think she like hate it completely. So I don't know if that was my favorite. Goddess looked great. I think the color that she picked for her skin tone went together so well. But I think my biggest critique for them was kind of the similar critique that I had for Deja's, where I don't really see a resemblance. I see girls that like are from the same maybe like friend group, or they're going to the same event, but I don't know if I necessarily see a resemblance. There's too many differences in between both of them that I can say that there's any kind of family resemblance, other than the hair where like they inverted the colors. It's completely different. She's where it has a choker necklace thingy on. Bosco's neck is completely, you know, done. Bosco has like a blazer coat thing on. Her girlie has like a cape in the back. Bosco, like I said, full sleeve. Her girl has no sleeves. There's so much shape and form in her girls, and it all gets lost in Bosco's. So I personally disagreed so hard with the judges. I think they might have maybe weighed the actual performance more, because I do think that her girl performed quite good, and actually her girl's verse I think was my favorite of the whole challenge. I really, really liked her verse. Overall, it's still a mop, because I can in no universe give this a flop, but I think for me at least, I don't think they met the challenge. I thought everyone else did choreo and they didn't have any, which
Yeah,
was crazy. Like she just did like a one body roller. I think that was the choreo. For me
challenge
in the
that didn't
challenge,
work.
I'm gonna give them a flop. The choreo is such a big part that I can't just like look it over.
I'll give it a bucket.
These are my girls. Everything is a mom.
She doesn't want to ruin her chances of flicking the bean, so she has to give a mop. Phoenix and her girl are up next.
No comments.
When I heard it was going to be a meme reference, I was like, listen, I don't like when queens do that because you're using a sort of scapegoat for any lack of creativity. I don't like this because it's not like it's creative. She's using a reference that is very explicit in how the girls look. I'm just, like, it got her brownie points with Michelle with a little cackle or whatever. I don't care about this. It says nothing about resemblance. You're just quoting someone that looked like you. I had nothing to say about the performances for most of the girls, but theirs, I literally just was like, girl, what are you doing? It was giving Roxy Andrews, and she did not make it clear.
The water was not clear, it was muddy.
To me, this is a huge, ginormous flop with a side of questionable second-rate Juvederm off the black market.
Anyways, I wrote Phoenix was in jail, question mark, question mark. Like, what was the jail reference?
So she walked in and she had like a specific look, right? And then like two or three girls in, another girl walks in with like an almost identical look. And so when they looked at each other, India, that's the girl who she was matching with, she goes, "Prison, honey." So she took that one prison, honey, and she made it into actual prison by doing the like, you know, prisoner jumpsuit.
That is so crazy. Jail for her, actually. She should wear that costume again and go back to prison, because what was that? There was no need for any of that. And like Angel said, I don't know why there's even a reference to something that happened in season 3. Baby girl, the people from season 3 are in their grave and you should join them. It's like you just put on like a garbage, plastic bag, and then that's it. This is what that's giving. I hate it. It's so basic. And then for the choreo, I said that the girl was so awkward. But like I said in the beginning, I feel like Phoenix is so bad as a drag queen that whoever Phoenix is partnered with is just going to match that same energy, because Phoenix has nothing to offer, and therefore the other person also has to tone it down and just be boring because they have to match. It's a partnership. So I'm sorry, Phoenix, but you are floppy flop, and I hope you never come back. And even when they had that lucky draw, I hope your name never even drops in that, let alone be picked.
This was just god awful. I think this is horrible, horrendous. She should go to prison, actually. Put the fucking jumpsuit back on and go. Because, and she was talking about looking elevated. Girl, you put the L in elevated, because this is absolutely horrendous. Awful, awful. And she was sat there on the fucking thing going like, me and my sister, girl, that me and my daughter, that's not your sister, that's not your daughter, girl, you're a grandma, your granddaughter, maybe. The only thing I will compliment her on, though, the daughter's mug beat down. Hers looks like someone beat her up. Like, the difference is crazy in the mugs. You had to prepare 3 looks only. This is the best you could come up with. This garbage. Garbage with holes cut out of it. This is awful. This is absolutely awful. You know why it's awful? Why would you put on leather when you look like leather in the face? So leather on leather, when's that gonna look good? What the fuck are those ties she's wearing? She put on her girl. What does that have to do with anything? She's wearing like weird little gloves. Her girl wearing like rocker punk gloves, and she put her in these awful tights. And her shoes. I can't tell if that's her skin tone. Because if it is, why is it like Jeffree Star's like skin color? Like, why are they so white? In the challenge, the poor girl looked miserable as fuck. The whole time she was probably thinking, oh my god, all the girls are gonna laugh. I got stuck with the ugly bitter bitch, and now I have to do this stupid little choreo where I have to put my pussy to the floor like I'm taking a shit, and then I have to pretend that like I ate this up. Floppy, 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 floppy. The worst flip flops you can find, the cheapest ones actually. 5 dirhams, 2 dirhams, 1 dirham. Actually, these ones might even be for free. Next up is Olivia.
Okay, I really like this look. I love sparkles, I love neutrals, and I've noticed this with Olivia is I love the way she uses things like cords as part of the design. Like last week we had the microphone cord around the dress. Here we have the headphones connecting the 2 girls. I think it's a really cute touch and a little like signature piece in a way. I love the music theme because we know Olivia's a singer, but I do love this look. I think you could argue it could fall a bit flat because it does just look like girls going out to have like, a good time together. But I feel like the way it's done is still very on brand for Olivia. It's still glamorous. It's still quite chic in a way. I think Olivia did actually sing a little bit, so I do like that. You know, I mean, she knows how to play to her talents. A retro moment mop for me.
It was good, okay? It was good. I thought it was very like, it reminded me of Dochi a lot. I feel like this is like Dochi.
I see it.
And and they both like matched each other's energies so well. Like even when it came to the choreo, they were both like busting it down and like doing it right, and it felt like just 2 girls having fun. Olivia listened to a lot of like the input that this big girl had to say, and because of that, their teamwork and synergy was really good. They could have done something more. It's like just wearing one piece of cloth and like hoping for the best. And also, I love that little headphones bit. Like,
Yeah.
it's theme. Everything just is so cohesive. It's still a mop nonetheless, but not like over the top mop.
I think she mopped this challenge, honestly. She got the brief on the resemblance, and the resemblance is there. To me, they look like 2 sisters on a night on the town. If not sisters, maybe cousins, but definitely family, which is not easy to say in this group of girls. Half of them did not look like family members. Her entire season, was season 13, she was known for carrying little purses. So that's what she's doing a nod to with the little purse. So that was really, really cute. There was so much opportunity for them to turn it up in terms of the look. Overall, the look is very cute. So I think I'll give it a bucket actually, because I don't want to give it a mop. The bucket is half empty, but the bucket's still there. You know, it's still being used. No punctured holes in this one. In the challenge, she was my second favorite in the challenge. I absolutely loved her. I think she got the vibe of the song down. It's supposed to be very like like jazzy disco, which she did so well on her original season. So she brought the same energy that the judges loved that time, and that's the reason why they were obsessing over her in critiques too. They did so well. The chemistry was so good. I think her girl was the best in terms of choreo as well. She picked it up really well. She had notes to share, and then Olivia, like you said, incorporated them, and they both did such a good stellar performance. She was the only girl that didn't look stiff to me. She felt very natural. In the challenge, she is an absolute mop.
I changed my vote to bucket. It's not a mop. It's a bucket.
Last but not least, we have Aja.
I feel like Aja will always give like her best when it comes to performance. Like, I don't think this diva will ever shy away or like have a bad performance ever. Like when I watched her choreo, like she gave it her all. She rapped her, I think hers was also a rap, and she's a lyricist, which diva with words we love. In terms of her look, all I wrote was fairy fantasy, and the comment that she had that this is giving costume. I'm like, aren't all of them wearing costumes? Like from what I know at least, it's all about costumes, your look. Like no one is trying to serve reality here. Like everything is a fantasy. So like, what do you think this was going to be? And it felt very personal when she said that. Like, where was that even coming from? So I didn't quite like that. But I like that Aja gave it back. And Michelle was indeed silenced. And may she never break that silence. But in terms of the look, giving very much like that porn fantasy of someone being like, you know, a little fairy and like.
Oh, you're right. It's giving like, you know, like when they make like sexy versions of it, like a sexy nurse, like for it's giving that. Yeah.
It's giving very much that. And like, even like looking at the baby drag queen, her, I don't know what's on her shoulders, but it's giving like cum shots on her shoulders, and I just don't understand. Like this is very much like, I don't know if that's glitter or what, like sparkle.
It is body glitter.
It's body glitter.
Yeah, but it's not blend. Honestly, she's a flop, not even a bucket, but flop.
She did, I think, in the workroom say herself that she wanted to do like a hood rat fairy sort of thing. Which, does hood rat have to be messy and unpolished? That's kind of debatable because I think she's trying to add this sort of like messy element in a way. Is it done well? No. My first thought was this is Layla and Tekna from Winx Club in another universe. The colors and everything. When Michelle said this was costumey, I felt like she was just trying to be polite and say it's giving cheap and not really polished. And to that, I kind of agree. Aja's sort of chest piece or like the ruffles aren't even properly aligned. Like they're slanting and they're dragging her breasts down. The boots look like they're not even zipped because of the gap between their thighs. Like at least have that sort of glued together like safety pin it or something. Her daughter looks stunning, like body tee, angle tee. She's glowing. I actually like the glow. I don't think it looks like the substance.
The substance.
The dresses themselves do just look a little cheap. I think a petticoat would have helped a lot for their structure. And the wings do look cheap. And I'm glad that her daughter was able to pull off the wrap. Although I think at times it felt like she was just reading off a textbook. Like she was trying to memorize the words more than actually say them with meaning. But altogether, I would say the performance is a bucket to me. I like the lyrics, but I wasn't that captivated by it, like thinking about it now. But the outfits to me are a flop. I can't get over ill-fitting garments.
Aja has this problem with proportions this season, which becomes quite evident in her runways, where she has a new body because of the hormones that she's on, but I don't think she's necessarily dressing to flatter it. I think in concept, this look could have been very, very cute. Two little fairies, yes, cute. I think the wings are so far distracting that like even if there were good elements within it, it just like cheapens it down to a very like craft corner, like Halloween section place. I love her daughter's outfit. The only thing that I would probably remove is the random pieces of fabric that are like just like attached to her finger or whatever the fuck. I think those are the only things I would remove from her daughter's outfit. Than that, I love it. Hate the wings, obviously, and I have a specific critique about the boots, but her dress is lovely. I love this lavender color. You guys know it's like borderline periwinkle. This color is everything to me. Her hair being lavender as well. Like I do love that Aja really did like try to match everything perfectly. Like the jewelry does perfectly match the hair, and the hair perfectly matches the outfit. So that part I will give her props for. But what I cannot give her props for is the absolute horrible like execution on her own outfit. I think this is the rare cases where I think the daughter looks better than the mother. Every single runway, this bitch is put on a thigh high. What is like? Did she get them like 5 off? Like what's wrong? Like, did you get them in a yard sale, girl? Why you have 7 billion fucking thigh highs? Can we not see your legs? What's wrong with them? Like, do you have scars like Deja or something brown like funky going on? You've got an extra toe. Like, why can we not see a stiletto? Why can we not see a pump? This bitch is hot. This look actually would have probably looked better if she had a stiletto on. If she gave like a cute little purple one to her daughter and a green one to herself. I think that would have also pushed it to look less costumey. But because of the fucking cheap ass thigh highs, it doesn't help her. I think Michelle's criticism didn't come from a place of like I can improve from this. Just if you just start off and say, oh, this just looks like a costume, what am I okay, but you're not saying what part of it looks like a costume. You're not saying, oh, like we're being so specific and saying, oh, you know, like the wings are looking cheap, maybe if she did the wings a little better it would look less costumey. I think Michelle's critique was just nasty for the sake of being nasty. So I'm glad that Aja did that whole thing where she was like, is drag not a costume? I love costumes. She loves costumes. We all love costumes. I think that is why I gravitate towards Aja, is that she's such an unapologetic girl, and like if she has no fans, she's gonna be her own number one fan, and that confidence honestly takes you many more places than money ever could. For the look, it's gonna be a flop from me. And the challenge, actually, I love their rap. I love there's just a certain like magnetic force when like Aja gets to perform the way that she gets to perform. But in saying that, I will say I think she completely overshadowed her girl because she was just pulling out her puss in front of her and she was in the back like, and Aja was like, here's my pussy and here's my hole and I'm shaking my boobs and here's my pussy again. And the girl in the back was just like, yeah, YMC. Like there was just a big disparity in terms of choreo because it's like she was like, she tried to teach her the choreo, was like, oh, you can't do it? I'm gonna do it anyway. Girl, it's supposed to be a group choreo. So I don't know if she completely got the challenge. So I will give her a bucket in the performance. And now we should move on to the lip sync. Yeah. Their top two were actually Bosco and Irene. And for the first time, I disagreed. I would have given it to Olivia and Irene.
And Bosco's was more like performance and look was more all-rounded better than Olivia's.
I guess it depends on like what thing they're weighing more. Because if the actual performance weighs more, I think Olivia mopped Bosco because her girl didn't do any choreo and their verse is okay. But if they are weighing like actual resemblance and like the runway more, then, well, I guess I don't agree with you guys because I didn't think Bosco's was that good. So I guess this is just one of those instances where I didn't get what I wanted. Now let's talk about the lip sync because I have thoughts.
This, to me, was the quote-unquote worst lip sync from this season. The song, I'm sorry, I haven't heard that song before, but and I know drag queens can do slow songs. Not this one. You don't have to do this one. I felt like you could tell because I don't know what the fuck Bosco was doing dancing. I mean, I will say I love her outfit the most. She's stunning. Love the bodysuit. She did stone those tights, yes. But I literally was like, girl, like, she was giving nothing, but I don't blame her, because what could she do? And then you have Irene shaking ass, and I'm like, girl, I don't think this is an ass-shaking song, but it made the judges laugh, and I feel like Irene winning this, like, good for her, because that poor girl did not win the two other lip syncs that were much more, I think, interesting to watch.
I don't have much to say about this lip sync because the song was underwhelming. Like, I'm sorry, why are they putting such songs on Drag Race? Like, I know more country songs than this, and I'm not a drag queen. Like, it's not my style of music, but I wouldn't put some song featuring Ludacris, which, by the way, this came out in 2008. This was basically Phoenix's season. Phoenix should have been the one thinking. I'm sure that
She was in the back ready. She was like, "Give me this."
this was her playlist actually, but I don't think Bosco is that good at lip syncing. I just think she has that wow factor, and that's what makes her stand out. But in terms of like we could see in this song, because she didn't have that outfit change or like a grand reveal, that's why it made her seem so like one dimensional, and she was just so out of place, and like she didn't know what she was doing. So I don't really think Bosco is good at lip syncing, at least from the 2 episodes that I've seen where she had to do it. Even Irene's not that great. All she does is shake her ass and show her puss. And that last reveal of her puss, honestly, loved it. Diva, cover up. But yeah, and also the green is crazy. Like, why is everybody wearing so much green this season? Like, is that the color? Did I miss something?
You know what's crazy? She's low-key giving like a cracked out poison ivy here.
Exactly. I see it. I see it so much. But it's like,
Actually, to me, she looks like yassified iceberg lettuce. This is the worst lip sync of the season. I think both gave absolutely nothing. The most interesting thing about this was the fact that I have the same belt as Bosco. This was just awful. I think Bosco does have like this captivating energy that carries her lip sync sometimes, to where like because of like her mug, like you just get captivated where you don't really care about what she's doing. But I don't think that worked this time. She looked very bored actually. It was like, oh, I gotta go pick up my kids from down the block. So let me put on my little puss outfit and let me go, get some hot single dads and then just pick up the kids from this place and then drop them off at Krispy Kreme. Like, it was very like park and bark, like walk across and just like do a little pit 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 and then walk across again. I think because there was no puss in this song, she was out of her element. She's used to serving that puss, and who's serving puss to Ludacris? You know what was Ludacris' this song choice? That was what was ludicrous. And then Irene over there borrowed one of Aja's thigh highs and was like shaking ass, which is crazy. Dressed like iceberg lettuce. Like, that was just a wild. It's not like, oh my god, Irene won. It was like she won because the other girl was like dropping her kids off at school, But the biggest gaggeronium of all was their fucking twist that they do after the lip sync. They made them do the fucking point thing on stage, and the entire time, my breath was like, I lost it. I had to go and find it, but I was not able to, and I still can't. So the entire time I was like just anticipating the worst, because whenever they do these stupid twists like this, like when they did in All Stars 3, when they had a stupid jury, I was like, oh my god, they're about to pull some stupid shit. They're gonna make like somehow Phoenix is gonna be there. RuPaul herself is gonna go up there and be like, let Phoenix through. Her sister's dead. She's gonna die tomorrow. So just send her through one time. So yeah, I was expecting the worst. For once, Miss Olivia got her backbone back and she gave Asha the point. And then for once, I will say bless Phoenix's soul, because that was truly a selfless in that moment. When you are the worst performer in the competition, you have nothing to like lose. You could have easily screwed people up, send Deja. You could have done that, but she chose to be so like mature and fair, which I respect her. That's where I think the like her talking about legend icon, I saw it in that moment where I was like, you know what, all this shit or whatever that we're talking about her, deep down you can tell that this person is authentic.
At the end of it, I was just hoping that it's not Olivia, because it was very much a tie between Olivia and Aja. But I truly think that Aja deserved it. I think Olivia was just like a pretty face, no offense. But I feel like Aja had more to offer, and I feel like you said, in this 4-month break, I really hope that she recoups, regenerates, and comes back as a slave, because she has so much more potential, and she can easily, like, she deserved that 3rd spot, but at the same time, like, if she keeps continuing what she's doing, she's not going to keep it, and she's going to lose it. The top 3 is who I would have picked anyways.
I would like to see more of Olivia, and maybe we'll get that chance with the randomized also that will join the lip sync battle.
Yeah, you can see it on TikTok Live where she'll beg for galaxies.
I hope Aja got new shoes that aren't from Fashion Nova.
Literally.
I hope Irene took some dance classes. I hope Bosco had a lovely 4 months. I hope she was at the spa doing Pilates, getting more off-shoulder black sweaters that I can steal inspiration from. I hope she's living her best life and ready to come back for the semifinals. But I will say, as someone that hasn't watched Drag Race in like almost a decade, um, I did enjoy this sort of start to All Stars. It's an interesting format that's not been done before, and I think seeing all these new queens that I don't have any context to, I think also makes it more refreshing because I think, like you said, you sort of know better about the queens and how they incorporate the references into an All Stars game. So I'm excited to see how the other queens will come up.
I think this rejuvenated my love for this just because I think we were so tired of the regular formula that they have. I'm excited that they tried something new. It is a bit chaotic to like have, like watch 3 weeks of one group, then watch 3 weeks of another group, watch 3 weeks of a third group, and then come back and remember, oh, these girls from like 7 weeks ago that did
Yeah.
this challenge. That is a little bit crazy, but at least they tried something different. You know what? If it's not well received, I'm sure they'll switch it back. The next group, I can tell you from now, they are messy boots. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're very, very excited because the next time we're going to kick off with a brand new bracket, brand new hot mess, brand new people to hate, and possibly brand new people to love. See you guys next time.
Bye!
Bye.